Hello YouTubes. I was gifted this very cute little fella a couple of months back along with many other awesome items from John Dawson. Click up there to see 3 parts worth. Now he does suffer from performance issues and it doesn't help that I have got some Code 83 Atlas turnouts with gigantic unpowered frogs. So the problem is his wheelbase is shorter than the length of a frog. Yes, I should power my frogs and I will at one point, but at the moment I just want to get this wee guy going around the track. The good news is he also has a tender. So you know what that means, right? Do I need to spell it out for you? Power pickups. Today I am going to attempt for the first time ever to make my very own custom made power pickups for this little tender. It is tiny, by the way. So that will increase the wheelbase from, what's that, about 1 inch and a bit to all the way back from the front wheel of the Loco to the back wheel of the tender, or at least the back wheel of the first bogie, which should still be plenty of distance to get over the unpowered frogs. But the very first thing I want to do is strip this down, get this little Loco running as nice as possible. I think it might just be dried out, and also the contacts on the inside of these wheels really need a good clean. Right, let's get started. Before we begin, I think I'll just put it in the cradle, give it some power, and then we can do a sort of before and after to see if we've increased the performance. Now, I can't figure out if that's just dirty wheels or if, oh, it's not getting any pickup from the front. So that's something to work on. Definitely has wipers in there. At least I think it does. We'll get a closer look. But that, I'm pretty sure that should be spinning. Right, that's what it was like before. Let's get into this. Right, what do we need? We need a big flat screwdriver. These are some overly chunky screws. Why on earth are these? So, oh, just for reference, that was much longer than the one at the back, so the front one's the long screw. In case I forget, you can remind me, okay? So everything seems to be coming apart. Is that just going to, yeah, so that kind of slots in at the back and pushes down. Okay. Greasy side towards the gear. And I think the body is trying to come off as well. Yep. Oh, it's quite heavy. A couple of small wires there going up to the light. Try not to break them because that was working. What I think I might do is fire up the soldering iron and just disconnect them for now. It's an incandescent bulb and I don't think I'll change it. I don't really intend to make this DCC, so the incandescent bulb is perfectly fine. Matches the colour matches the era of this sort of Loco, so I don't think we need to go LED. Bit of rust at the top of the motor. Okay, let me get the soldering iron warmed up and we'll remove these little wires for now. That should be warm enough. Let's remove these little wires for now. And put that to the side. Right. Oh wow. Look, don't know if you can see that there. The front pickups are barely touching. Although not touching at all now that the wheel's falling out. Right, get you back in. Just so I can show how terrible it is. Oh, for goodness sake. That needs to go around there. Okay, so hopefully you can see our wheel wipers, I think they're called. It's only just touching the very tip there, and it's barely touching that one at all. It's kind of bent up the way, you see that? It's hardly, in fact that one's not touching at all. So that's okay, we can modify them a little bit. In fact that one's on the outside. So don't want to go too mad with them because they would be a bit of a pain to recreate. Oh look, this bit's trying to fall off. Okay, you can go over there. What about you? Are you coming off as well? I think that's wanting to fall off too. Not quite sure how that was kept in. Oh, it's broken. That's what it is. It's broken. Is it broken or is it just kind of pops in? I hope you're keeping note of how this all goes together because I've forgotten already. Okay, and they come out. This is just falling apart by itself. It's great. Okay, the gears look okay. The grease does look a bit congealed, but that's not turning very nicely. So the good news is I've got access to the commutator there, so I can run some power from that side to that side, spin it as we clean it, because that makes life so much easier. Let me get the cradle again. I need to make a mini cradle. It gets lost in there. Yeah, it's not like it's going to spin away now because it doesn't have the wheels on it. Right, power. This is where I'm going to need my third hand. Yeah, that's struggling to turn. Right, I need to somehow jam these wires in somewhere. Oh, I know where we could put them. Could probably put them in under there. On that side, one at the other, just while we do this cleaning business. Doesn't need to be in there. That should work. One in there, one in there. And we still have access to the commutator. So I'm going to use, I think I'll use my fiberglass pencil, this one here. Dip it in some alcohol, get this thing spinning. Why are you not spinning? That is a fussy one. We'll try it with a cotton bud first. Terrible connection on this thing. Wow, what a difference already. Fiberglass pencil. Okay, that takes care of that electrical part of things. Now we need to free up a bit. So I'm going to put some grease on that worm gear, which is dry, and a little dribble of oil down that shaft coming from the motor itself. Just a dribble. Just in there. I wonder if we could sneak one in just a drop in there, and it might work its way downwards. And we'll get some grease on the worm gear. Around there. Goodness, it's very stiff. Now that might be down to lack of grease, or it could just be it's a very tight little motor, which is good. There's no slop, you know. Just a wee shade more. Okay, let's see if that's any better. Get the power back in. Oh, let's move the alcohol away, since it's highly flammable and I'm making sparks. Get you in there, get you in there. Still a wee bit noisy, but I think it just needs a bit of a run in. It's possible that this little Loco has not seen a lot of action in its life, and the gears are still needing to wear in just a little bit, because as I say, they were very tight. It's moving nice and slowly at that speed though. I wasn't doing that before. Okay, let's move on with the rest of the cleaning process, which is cleaning these little contacts, bending them out a little bit so that they're actually pushing against, because that one there is not pushing against the inside of the wheel. So they need cleaned, straightened out a bit, or bent out a bit. And then I need to just give the wheels a quick clean. So I'll bring you back when that's all cleaned and ready to reassemble. Right, I've cleaned up my little wipers. Get rid of some of this excess oil. I don't remember putting that much oil there. I guess when the engine, when the motor was running fast, it spurted any oil out. So we'll get that cleaned up. Anyway, as I was saying, goodness, everything just wants to fall apart here. So my little wipers are all nice and clean. Good contacts there now, and I've bent them out just a little bit. Now, before I reassemble, I do want to add a couple of wires from here and here, which are going to go to the tenders, the tender pickups, I should say. So let me do that before we proceed. I would normally use black wire, but I can't find any. Right, how much space do we need? It's going to go from there to there. Need about, yeah, I need about that much space or distance of wire each. So these bits of wire here are just going to go from here to the inside of the tender, and then there'll be more wire going down to the pickups when I make them. But let me solder these on first. I'm soldering these to a different area because anytime I try and double up the wires onto solder, they come off. So it's going to have its own little area to solder to. Get a blob of solder on here first. Couldn't see what I was doing. Let's try again. Wonderful. The little clip came off the top. Too much heat. Let me get that back on once it cools down. It's an important mistake not to make when metal things are attached to plastic things. If you heat them up, they like to separate. So that was a bit of a fail, but it should be okay. Let's try again on the top without going too hot this time. Yeah, that's better. So we get a nice bit of solder there. So the brown wire is going to go to there and the light wire is going to go at the top. Okay. Right, let's try that again. One wire on there. Okay, so that's my feeder wires for the tender pickups. Right, let's see if I can remember how this goes back together. Might have to fast forward through this bit. So we had the front bit that fell off, and there was a little clip here that fell off. Everything fell off. Oh, this is metal. Anyway, how did that go together? So is that up? Ah, right, that bit's up. This bit was round. Ooh. Does it go that way? I might have to check my video for this. Right, this has got a thread on it, so it needs to go at the top then. Maybe in there. Ooh, so that seems to slot in there. Wonder if the wheels go on first. Would that make life easier? Probably not. Although it might make more sense if I get the wheels on, then we see where everything's meant to go. So they double back on themselves, I believe. Go in there somehow. Make sure we're on the right side of the little wipers. Okay, that's the back wipers in the right places. Try and get the fronts in. Ooh, look, they're all in. Okay, if I can hold this all in place. Nope, it's falling out again. That needs to go around there. Those have come out that side. I really should have fast forwarded this bit. See, the problem is this little plastic thing that the wipers are attached to moves in and out, up and down. I wonder if it would make sense to put that in last then. And I'll show you what I'm talking about, just in case you've ever had one of these. That bit there comes off. Isn't that annoying? I wonder if I should glue it in. That's very annoying. Just to make life even harder for me. Alright, we'll try again. Right, I'm going to fast forward this bit. I'll bring you back when I've worked this out, because this will be like drawing teeth if I make you watch through all this. Back soon. Okay, I thought it was worth bringing you back before I was finished rebuilding this thing. This strange little bar here holds on the sides of these things. So I found that you need to get this on first, otherwise the wheels are just flopping about. So the plate at the bottom, smaller screw up the middle, and that means the wheels are all in the right places with their little wipers in the right place. Now we can get these in without having to do everything at the same time. This section here, it sits on top of that like that, but these have to go in here. They are made of metal, so they do flex a little bit, but there's a little gap between that circle section that you can see there and the square section, and that's where these bits slide in between there to keep it aligned, but at the same time, that pin there has to slide in that hole, and the same with that pin in that hole. So a wee bit fiddly, but now that I've got this attached, I don't have to worry about the wheels falling out and damaging the wipers. So I will bring you back when that is back in there, and then this section slides. Oh goodness, looks like I'm going to have to do this at the same time, because that sits in like that. So I need to hold those two together, feed them through there, hold that tight while I get the body on and screw it all together. Easy peasy. Back in a sec. Well, that was a nightmare. Do you remember that bit where I melted the little clip, or the plastic where the brush clip was on? Well, I found a little spring. You know, one of those little guys, except it was smaller than that, which I've lost now. So I had some spares, chopped that one down because that's actually bigger than the one that was in it. Anyway, obviously there wasn't power getting to the brush. So that took way longer than expected. Let's make sure it all still works. And hopefully it gets power to both sets of wheels this time. Right. That sounds much nicer already. And France. Yes. Both sides. Backwards. Okay, we're all good. Can finally get on with the job that we're actually here to do. So I've got the two wires coming out the back. So if I was to strip them a little bit, add some power to them, then we should have movement. Awesome. So we just need to wire these up to the power pickups we're going to make in the tender. Now there's various ways you can get power from the axles. Obviously the first thing you need is metal wheels, possibly isolated in one side so that they only pick up power from one side of the rail at a time. So I'll possibly do one set of the bogies with the power on that side and the other bogie with the power on that side, and then it gives us more of a chance, a fighting chance. Now some people wrap wire around the axle. Some people use this stuff, and as you probably guessed, I'm using this stuff to make my own little pickups like you see in quite a lot of powered vehicles. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just attempt to cut these to shape, drill a wee hole, solder them, run a wire through. Bob's your auntie. Let's give it a go. Let's get this thing apart, see what we're dealing with. Looks like it's got those sort of push pins to hold the bogies in. Like so. I wonder. I might be sneaky and be able to drill a hole right through that. And then I could run the wire through it. I think that's an awesome idea. Yeah, there's plenty of meat on there. I could drill through them. Right, how do we get this apart? Looks like there's a little gap in there, which is just inviting a screwdriver to go in there. Ugh, don't like that. It's a little one. Oh, it's a little clip there actually. If I can push that in. I thought I broke something. That definitely looks like it wants to come apart. Yeah, okay, I think I need to get in here. Lever that up. Yep, I'm wrecking it. Oh, this is fragile. Oh, the tension. Try this side first. So I'm having to push down on this while I'm pushing this clip in. It doesn't want to come off. Oh, come on. Come on, get off. I wonder if I could just slide in here. maybe need to use the old X-Acto blade. This is where I lose a finger. No, I don't want to use that. You know I'm going to slice my... I'm going to end up in ER if I use that. Let's persevere. Oh, come on. I know you... Oh, yeah. I broke it. That's dumb design. Well, look at all that weight. Anyway, just ignore that bit. Oh, they're going to shiggle about. Or do they just sit on there nice and tight? Might glue them when the time comes. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so if those pins come up through there, they're going to hit in that. That's really annoying. Ugh. That doesn't matter, they can sit a wee bit higher. Not the end of the world. Right, so my plan, that was the back, was it? Yeah. So the wire needs to come in this way. I wonder if that gap's big enough. Yeah, I think they can go in that little gap there. Okay, and then go up here and then split off down to there. Okay, yep, that should work. I'll tell you what we'll try and do first then. Let's see if we can drill the holes through these little pins. Probably best to do it while they're in situ, because they'll be nice and tight. And then we can take the wheels off and start figuring out that's obviously the wrong way around. Of course, 50-50 chance, you know how it is. Let's get you on there. You on there. Right, I'm going to drill holes through these. And then they'll come up through there. Yep, that sounds good. I think this should be big enough to get my little wire through. It's only going to be one wire. One wire going through there, one wire going through there. Wow, made it right through the middle. What are the chances of that? Let's see if we can go 2 for 2. Almost. Needs to go up that way a little bit. Lovely. Clean up my little drill bit. Go through it again from the top. Oh wow, it still works. Amazing. Amazing. I can always glue these in if they get a bit too loose. That's one. Suppose we better make sure we've got a wire small enough to get in. I was going to use this brown wire, wasn't I? That should be fine. Yay, look at that. Perfect. Okay, that was a bonus. So next step, I suppose we should dig out the wheels and make sure they're actually going to be a good replacement for the plastic ones. Here's some I made earlier. And by made, I mean bought. So I need 4 of them. Look at them, nice and shiny. Oh, that looks good. So these need to have the insulators on the What is going on with that insulator? That is not the right... That wheel came from something else. Completely different wheel. I must have put it in the box when I replaced it. Anyway, insulator on that side. Obviously it needs to be the same side for each bogie. Looks nice. Okay. Get rid of that one. Gigantic flanges. I've got two of them. I hope I'll get enough wheels. I do. Oh, thank goodness for that. Okay, I'll do one at a time. So, we need to make a little brass H-shaped thingy. I'm going to use the thickest sheet I've got. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. So it needs to be, let's say there. I'll just try and scratch this out. From about there. I want it just beyond the axle. Just beyond. So about there to about here. Actually, no, I need to make it a bit longer because these are going to be at an angle pushing up the way or down the way, depending on how you see things. So if they're at an angle, they're going to lose a bit of distance. So let's make them a bit that much longer. I can always snip them. They're too long, they're too short. To there. To there. Right. So this is the little section we're going to use. Let me try and scrape this out and you'll see what I'm going to cut out. Let's go with, so it's going to be cut all the way down there. And then there's a center bar, which is going to be, let's go about, needs to be fairly thick because I'm going to have to drill a hole in the middle of it. And let's go a little bit fatter. Let's go there, there. Scrape that up to about there. Bring that along to there. Okay. This bit's gone up to there. I'm not quite centered, but that's okay. And there's my little H. I think we could bring this in a little bit more. Make it a bit more symmetrical. Not quite sure yet how I'm going to cut this, but I'm going to have a circle in the middle because that little pin has to go through there. So I need to get a drill bit, same thickness as that. Drill through the middle and then we can cut it out. No point cutting this out then drilling it. I won't have anything to hold on to. So let me drill this and we'll hopefully cut it out and have our first pickup. Okay, let's try this gigantic drill. Right in the middle there. Not as neat as I would have liked. Kind of folded it a bit. It doesn't need to be perfect as long as it gets through the hole and doesn't fall out. Well, how on earth did I drill that shape from a circle? Just talented, I guess. Anyway, as long as it gets through there. Well, it does need to be neatened out a bit somehow. Okay, so that'll work, right. Now, I'm pretty sure scissors will cut the outside bits, but the little bits in the middle, they're going to be a wee bit trickier. I'm not sure if my knife is going to cut in there. I think it's working. It's not really working. Bigger knife. This stuff's a lot stronger than I was expecting it to be, which is good, because it means it's not just going to break as soon as we install it onto something. So it's this bit here I need to get through. I think my scissors will take care of the rest. Yep. Yes, I'm sure there's a much nicer way to do this, but I don't know it yet. Okay, let's see how this works. It looks a bit big, but that's okay, we can shrink it down. Yeah, I need to take a couple of bits off the sides. That side there's a bit fat. That side is also a bit fat. Okay, looking good so far. They're way too long. Trim them down a wee bit. That should be just about perfect now. Now, I could put them on that way and they're pushing up on the wheels, or I could put them underneath and bend them down. I think we'll just try it that way. So the pin goes through the middle and then gets rammed up and into the body. Let's just make, not the body, the well, the chassis. Let's just make sure it still fits together then. Okay, it's loose because it's not making it all the way up, because it's getting caught now on the thickness of the metal. That stuff, oh goodness, it's kind of frustrating. I mean, I could glue them in place now, but the main thing is I want to make sure it works first. So we need to solder a little bit of wire onto anywhere on that plate and then feed the wire through the middle of that. I could make it finer, I suppose. It's still a wee bit chunky there. Yeah. So let me make that look nicer, duplicate it for the one on the other side. I now have my two little connecting plates. We need to solder on two little wires, and then we'll feed these little wires through the pins and attach it all to the underside of the chassis. Right, solder time. I think I'm going to put them in sort of corner up there. That one's got more meat than that one. That should be okay. Put some solder on there. Oh, that's a bit of a clean. Get off. Oh, for goodness sake. Wow, that stuff burns fast. Was not expecting that to burn. Ugh, that's horrible. Ah well. You can learn by my mistakes. This stuff heats up very fast. Okay, that's what I meant to do the first time. Right, let's get a wire on here. And a wire on here. What is going on here? Jeez. Okay, next step. Feeding it through these. Let's see, what did I say? I was going to put the wheels on first. Right, let me get the wheels on and then we'll put them on the top. So remember, we need to have one set of isolators on one side of one bogie. So let's put these ones on. Isolator facing me. Okay, that's one. And the other one. I wonder if it matters which way around this goes. Thought that could be annoying. Don't think it matters. Let's not get hung up on that. So those isolators are at my side, so now for this side they need to be away from me. One there. Isolator away. One there. Let's get our chassis. So that goes that side. Yes, I'm just leaving a horn hook. Let's not get too ambitious here. So that's going to go over there. So we need to feed this pin through that way. That's going to hook round. Actually, no, let's put the pin in first. That makes more sense. And then feed the wire through. That's quite neat. And push it all through. Wire through the hole, pin through the hole. Squish it up there. Doesn't look fantastic, but I don't care as long as it works and the wheels still spin. Okay, one down. I know it looks awful, but you don't see it from down there. Let's get the other one in. Forgotten what I was going to do. Yeah, put this in here first. Push it through there. Don't think that's the way I did the last one, but it doesn't matter. Feed that through. Stick that through there. And squish it up there. Lovely. So isolators on that side, isolators on this side. So power this side, that side. That's us ready to hook up these wires to those wires. Exciting, we're nearly there. I think at this stage I want to connect. Oh, that's annoying. Just not tight enough to hold that in place. But, I mean, I can glue it, but I don't want to glue it right now. I want to make sure it works first. So, let's push you in there for now. Just behave for a little bit. Anyway, what I was going to say was, I want to connect the tender to the Loco so that it just gives it a bit more, you know, togetherness. Little screw in there. Ugh. Lovely. Right. Yeah. Okay. So, what we need to figure out is, this is a left power, or left rail, so we're looking for the left rail power over here, and then that's going to be the right rail, which is going to be one of them. So we're looking for the left rail first, which is, oh, that's definitely going to need glued in. He's misbehaving. This one is the left rail. Okay, so it is. I don't need all that wire, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to be hiding it under the tinder box, if that's the thing. Let's join those two bits together. A bit of heat shrink would be good. Let me find some. Okay, you've got some. Don't want any shorts inside the tinder. So slide you over there. Let's get you two together. These are very fine little wires. They really don't need a lot to hold them in place. I know someone kept commenting saying, why do you use flux when you're using flux core solder? Well, maybe it's just cheap solder I've got, but I find that it doesn't do much unless I've got flux on it, and then it works. Well, that didn't work at all. Got to keep your soldering iron nice and clean. Let us try that again. One wire connected. Okay, let's get the other one done. This wire is so fine. Why is this getting so filthy? My goodness. I don't like twisting my wires, that's why I'm not doing that. I like to just side by side them. Which obviously isn't working. You know what? This flux sucks. I'm going back to my old one. Where is it? This stuff, I like this. Nitro flux. Wow, see how much better that flux is? So sometimes this works fine. It's good on circuit boards, but it's not very good for this. Yep. Right, we're almost done. Other than that pin wanting to fall out, which I will be gluing in, but obviously I need to make sure it works first. So let me give this a quick test, and then I'll do the final. remantling. What's the opposite of dismantling? I can't remember. Anyway, let me check this. Okay, I was really just checking to make sure I had got the polarity around the right way, and I have. So now I am going to glue that troublesome pin in, and then we'll be almost done. Let's get him in his cradle. I'm sure I can refine these further down the line, but at the moment they will have to do. So let's just get a little bit of superb glue. That's too much. Let me see if I can get a Q-tip on this. Remember, this pin doesn't rotate, so I'm not worried about that locking in position. I just want to make sure that this keeps on rotating till the glue sets between the pin and the chassis. I think the back one's okay. A little bit of wobble, that's fine. That one should be fine. Okay, bring it back from the glue set and we will get the body of the tender on and we'll be done. Okay folks, we are almost done. We just need to get these weights back on. Get the wires sort of in the middle. Might pinch them a little bit. Nah, it should be fine. So they can go on there. This just clips over. I'm trying to get the wires in that little notch there. Not that it matters at this point, I don't think. And then just clip it all into position. Like that, maybe? One side in. Oh yeah, I broke the other side. Ah, should be fine. And I think we're actually done. Excellent. Oh well, let's get to the track. Okay, little chap, it is time to shine. Now, he does still have quite big flanges, or flanges if you're European, so I'm not expecting perfection, but he has to get over that giant unpowered section from there to there. Right, let's go. Here we go, here we go. Almost flawless. Right, let me give it a wee bit more power and we'll go into the inside of the layout. Try and catch him up. He's struggling a wee bit with the points, but again, that's just the giant flanges are getting caught up. He seems to have a natural chuffing sound. He may have a correct gear, which is unfortunate because there only is 2 gears in the whole thing. Overall though, I think it looks rather spectacular for such a small loco. Lots of detail. Not exactly a high-end brand or anything. Oh, he doesn't like that one. Still made it though. Oh, disappears into my mountain cut. Here he comes. I don't know why he slowed down there. Maybe I've got a dirty bit of track. Overall, running pretty damn good. Brilliant. Well, I think that looks pretty great for my first attempt at electrical pickups where there was no electrical pickups. I think for the next time I do this, I'm going to get some slightly thicker brass sheet. That stuff's just a wee bit soft, and I think it's going to lose its spring over time, which is good because I've got some passenger coaches I want to add some power and lights to and maybe keep alive, so I'm glad I got this one out of the way. And you know what, for a first attempt, it went not too bad. I mean, it looks awful on the underside, and I'm sure I'll improve my technique over time, but for now, I'm happy with that. Right, before I go, thank you to all my new members. It's been quite a lot recently, which is awesome, because if I can get mostly members, I can just switch off the adverts so you don't get bothered by all that nonsense. Anyway, take care, guys. I'll see you very soon. Probably more scenery coming up in the next couple of days. Take care. Bye for now.